96.5 and 1340 KVGC on the phone. Douglas Viviani. Douglas and David Cohen every Saturday and Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. They host a little show we call Everything Old is New Again. And Douglas, I just want to start off. I didn't talk with you off the air about this, but my wife wanted me to tell you that she loved last week when Angelica was singing.
Okay.
She was singing from Frozen or something. I don't know.
Yes. On a Disney show, she ended the show with singing Frozen and Let It Go. So
yeah.
I'll have to tell Angelica she has a fan.
And from listening, David doesn't have any kids, does he?
He does, but his son is 17, so it's sort of removed from a lot of this, And at that age, his son is got his own agenda,
Well, I have kids from 34 down to 19, and they go around the house singing Frozen too. So it does. Anyway.
It was fun, and she's our best, most reliable guest. When we need somebody to step up to the plate, there she is. And David's told me he's a little afraid of the future. She may take over because she's not afraid, boy. Put the microphone in front of a lot of kids' faces, and they kind of look at you. She doesn't care. She just, presents herself the same way as she does off. So she's a natural.
This week we got ready to say goodbye to some TV shows for the summer. ABC's Powerhouse Wednesday lineup all going off until next fall. The Blacklist on Thursday. Hey, did you see do you watch Blackish at all?
Yes.
Did you see how they did that dream sequence where Dre went into, he was one of the characters from Good Times?
I did not see that yet. I've got it on DVR. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Of course, my kids are going, whoa, what is this? What is this? You never seen Good Times before? No, they didn't know, but they enjoyed it. But anyway, so
we got to look that up on Hulu or something and catch up to date.
Yeah,
it was a great show back in the day.
So that means it's time to go to the movies because there's no first-run TV shows. So what's up? What are you looking forward to seeing on the big screen this summer?
I love it. The summer blockbusters. We've grown accustomed to that since maybe the 80s, where they've even late 70s, where they've released these summer blockbusters, big budget, great, terrific movies that everyone goes to see and talks about. I mean, just for a moment before I talk about what's upcoming, for me, I can't start the summer until I watch my DVR of Jaws. It just is something. It's become a tradition. That and Back to the Future are two summer movies that are close to my heart. Back from the heyday when I was a youngster, and it just set the tone for the summer. Do you have any movies like that?
I'm going to talk about Jaws for a moment. The most frightening scene in Jaws for me, and I don't know if you can remember this or not, but it's an underwater scene, and there's this sunken boat or ship. It's a boat underwater, and there's a cutout. It's been smashed in, and all of a sudden this head falls into that opening. Do you remember that sequence?
I do, and then the music blasts for a second, so it really accentuates the fear and the danger. How could you forget that?
The shark didn't scare me. But that part was, whoa, man,
that experience just brought it back. When you see the movie, it just brings back, okay, it's summertime. I don't know, because that's and everyone has their own thing through the years. Independence Day was huge later on.
That's what I was just gonna say. My movie is Independence Day, and I don't watch it any other time but during the summer. And I don't think it's a 4th of July Independence Day thing, but I really like that movie, and I leave it on the shelf all year long. But I pop it out during the summer and watch it a couple of times. And Forrest Gump. I like to watch Forrest Gump too, but other than that,
we all have our own favorites. So the question now is, what's going to be the one that we talk about from this summer, if any? They've already, believe it or not, I can't believe they've released Captain America Civil War, which is going to make all kinds of money and has made all kinds of money, but it's already been released in May. So I'm going to count it as a summer blockbuster because I think it'll probably still be in the theaters till July. I'm going to guess. but they everything old is new again. They're coming back with Tarzan, Independence Day 2, a new Star Trek Beyond, they're calling it, Ghostbusters, so Finding Dory. All these are based upon movies from the past that are coming back to haunt us this summer. My favorite's going to be the Star Trek Beyond. I can't wait to see that.
Well, you're gonna see Finding Dory probably 2 or 3 times this summer.
I will see that. There's a lot of kids movies too. There's this Angry Birds and Big Friendly Giants. Spielberg's producing and directing that one, so that might be a blockbuster. That's nice to see a blockbuster that's not based upon something in the past too.
How can you make a movie? How can you make a full-length movie off of a game that you play on your telephone?
I know. I think they're promoting that like crazy, like it's so wonderful. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not that wonderful.
Have you ever played Angry Bird? I've never played the game. I've seen my son Joe play it before.
I've stayed away because if I do, then I'd never have time to do anything else. These games I see everybody playing when I'm in court stuff. I see people pulling out their phones and playing games and even walking the streets and bumping into other people and bumping into signposts and things, playing these crazy games. So I've stayed away from it on purpose because I know that it's quite addicting. But I don't know. We'll see. They come up with some plot somehow, somewhere for that. I guess it's a kid's movie. Maybe they think it's not all that important.
All right. Now, with the price of movies, with the price of popcorn and candy at the movies, you're going to have to do a little bit better for us this weekend with the Preakness than you did with the Kentucky Derby.
Well, let's put it this way. Kentucky Derby, we won, but it was because there were, basically the favorites came in. So we did parlay that into a few dollars, but you're right. We want to make some money. So here's the routine. This week, I'm going to be clear about this. We're going to do a $1 triple box. It means that we're picking, just to be confusing, of course, we're going to pick 4 horses. But any of the 4 in any combination that comes in 1, 2, or 3, that means we're going to win. All 3 of the, 3 have to come in, though. We got to get it all 1, 2, and 3. But that's, to me, going to be relatively easy for 1, 2. Is going to be the favorite Nyquist and the one that came in second, Exaggerator. So those are the ones that came in 1, 2 the last race. So for $24, because that's a $1 triple box, we could probably win by adding the next horse, which will be more odds, probably $150, $200. So we're going to say, add into that the number 1 horse, Cherry Wine, and the number 11 horse, Stradivari. And if either of those come in third, or second, or even first, big money for us. So that's where I'm going to say go for the 1, 3, 5, 11 for the Preakness.
And if we lose, then we're out of it.
Then we'll have to go back to the drawing board for the Belmont.
Hey, I
I
watched a new show this week, and it came on after, I don't know, what was it? It came on after one of the regular shows that I watch on.
Was it at the Gotham maybe?
It was that Houdini show.
Yes.
The Houdini and Doyle. Was that after Gotham?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. Hey, that was an all right show.
It's one that we're going to focus on a little bit starting this weekend on Everything Old is New Again, because with the advent of this show, which is like a culmination of the sweet sciences of magic and mystery, they're putting together fictionally here the writer of Sherlock Holmes, which is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and Harry Houdini, one of the greatest, of course, magicians of all time. They did know each other in real life. They had a spat later on in life and were not friendly after there was a difficulty where Sir Arthur Conan Doyle believed in the hereafter and being able to communicate with the hereafter. Houdini's mom passed away. Conan Doyle invited Houdini to a seance. Houdini found out it was not real and went on a tear about how horrible these seances are, pretending to bring in the loved ones that have passed away. And Conan Doyle still, believe it or not, the author of Sherlock Holmes still stayed with these seances and believed they were true, even though Harry Houdini told him it was a trick. In fact, Conan Doyle, believe it or not, thought that Houdini's tricks were not tricks, that he had some supernatural powers. So that's the underlying current of the show, I think. And I think it's a real fun show, this Houdini and Doyle. Once they hit their stride, they've only got 10 episodes to work with, so I hope they build a fan base. We'll see. But Everything Old is New Again is going to dig into Houdini. You remember him, of course.
Oh yeah. I don't want to exploit my literature naivete or whatever you want to call it, but I didn't realize until watching this show, and I blurted it out. And my family, who actually, the boys, Joey's home from college now for the summer, and Jake was over, so we were watching this, and I blurted it out that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was a doctor, and he was actually Dr. Watson, and was telling these stories as, did you know that?
I have to say that I did, because I'm a huge fan of...
I didn't know that. I went, hey, he's Watson. And everybody goes, yeah? And they looked at me like I was some, hey.
Well, it's one of those things when you mention it, I guess it sounds so obvious. It's like, yeah, I knew that. But, it's easy enough to just say you knew it. But did you really, I don't know. I love the Sherlock Holmes. We're going to do that and go into Sherlock Holmes and Arthur Conan Doyle and the mystery itself next weekend. This weekend we dive into the magic. I have our favorite guest, Angelica Juliana Viviani, is coming on to talk a little bit about magic. And it's funny because I don't want to ruin it, but she has a book that she reads now that's contemporary for kids. It's a series of books, but in one particular book brings up, it's like a time travel book. They go back, these kids go back in time and they see Harry Houdini. So it's weird. It's 100 years later, and his magic is still hot and heavy with Penn and Teller. Love what he does, and they talk about him all the time. His memorabilia is sold for thousands and hundred thousands of dollars, all over. And kids that are 6 and 7, at least my child, still kind of knows who Harry Houdini is. It's unreal. There was no internet then. There was no radio, and he just barnstormed around the country, and he's still known to this day. It's crazy.
I think he is probably. I mean, you could probably argue that maybe like Blackstone or David Blaine or the guy that makes the Statue of Liberty disappear.
Right, Copperfield.
Yeah, David Copperfield. But everybody knows Harry Houdini. Everybody knows Harry Houdini.
And all of the magicians that are magicians today, if you ask them, like you used to talk about Copperfield, he has the hugest collection of Houdini paraphernalia that you could possibly have. Millions and millions of dollars of his stuff. All these magicians love Harry and admire Harry Houdini. How many people in one profession knows their predecessor from 100 years ago, and still to this day admire what he did? It's amazing.
Right. Hey,
so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hey, has the topic of Viviani family summer vacation come up yet? You guys going to go anywhere this year? Or?
Yes, we, as you know, have a 4-year-old too, so I'm a little trepidatious about flying, only because it could be problematic with a really young child. So we're going to go to New York City and get on a cruise ship on the 4th of July weekend and go for a week on a cruise. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to head down to Florida and Bahamas, and they have their own island, and see some shows and get away from it all. I think it should be a lot of fun.
There are we've cruised on the Carnival line before, and they have a thing called is it Kids Carnival or Carnival Kids, and it's like a daycare craft fun thing for the kids. And heck, my kids when they were younger, they wanted to spend more time there than they did with our families, on the ship and stuff, because they take them and it was great. They were entertained. They took them on little tours of the ship, and they would go swimming and make crafts and all this right there on the ship. And it was and then at nighttime, if you and your wife wanted to go out, they had an evening session too, and you could take your kids there, and they would be entertained for a couple of hours.
Yeah, looking forward to a little me time, a little one-on-one with the wife, have an actual date, so to speak.
Without a sippy cup on the table, right?
Exactly. I'm just praying and hoping that we don't sit down to dinner after we do all this, spend all this money, get on the cruise, and put the kids into the kids club and all of that stuff, and we sit down, and the topic of conversation is going to be our kids. So I hope we come up with something else to talk about. I think we will. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. How about you?
We're going to. No, we haven't really talked about it. We did one in January. We went to Disneyland for a week, and it was really enjoyable. It was the best time I think we've had because the boys are older now, and you don't have to worry about them. And hey, we'll meet here at 2:00 for lunch. Or we'll meet here at 7:00 for dinner, or we're going back to the room. We'll see you guys, later on tonight, and because they're adults, and
right.
So they're running around doing their thing. But it was fun this summer. I was hoping you were going to say you and David or you and the family were coming out to see the Amador County Fair, but obviously I guess we missed out to the cruise ship. So.
Oh yeah. Now what's the weekend of the fair again?
That's the final weekend in July, the last weekend in July.
Okay.
So if you have a little time, if you get off the ship, still leave your bags packed, you can come on over and spend 4 days with the
idea.
fair.
I saw there was on Facebook or on the internet. There's this brand new, I guess you'd call it a thrill ride. That's going to be presented, huh?
Well, that's at the Calaveras County Fair and Jumping Frog Jubilee, which is going on right now. Right now in Calaveras County. Yeah, the whatever it was, that thing from Paris or the tango.
Yeah, it looks like a windmill and with people on the end of it, basically.
Not for me. Not for me. Hey, every Saturday and Sunday evening at 6 o'clock, everything old is new again right here on 96.5 and 1340 KVGC with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen. Douglas, let's make us a little bit of green with the Preakness, okay?
Absolutely. Well, Saturday afternoon, tune in.
All right. Talk to you next week.
Excellent.